I have been working my way through Job chapter 38. We have done the prologue of Job 1 and 2 in other videos. We have also completed chapter 28, a great section on wisdom, where to find wisdom. And now we're in chapter 38, about to finish it. And we're looking at the Hebrew, reading it, looking at the grammar, and then making a running commentary. So now we are at verse 39 of chapter 38. Let me just say a word about this section from verses 39 and 41. The feeding of the lioness and the young lions. Can Job hunt for the lioness or satisfy the appetite of the young lions when they crouch in their dens and hiding places waiting to overtake their prey? God alone is concerned about feeding and caring for them. Job is not, nor can he be. So again, the Lord is challenging Job in this section. I read verse 39. Hatatsud lelavi tarif, b'chayat kefirim temale. That is, can you hunt for the lioness, prey or food for the lioness, and the appetite of the young lions? Can you satisfy? We begin with that hey again, the beginning with the question, interrogative question, followed then by tatsud. Tatsud is the cow imperfect, second masculine singular from sud, to hunt. So can you hunt for the prey of the lioness? For the lioness, lelavi tarif. In other words, for the lioness, a prey. Notice tarif from terif means prey. Can you do this for the lioness? V'chayat kefirim temale. Or literally chayat, or the appetite of the young lions. Can you fulfill or satisfy? Notice here, chayat is a word that occurs here with that meaning, sort of unique in Job, and it means appetite. And the appetite of the kefirim, of the young lions. Are you able to satisfy? Temale. Temale is from male, to satisfy. Notice here we are looking at a PL, imperfect, second masculine singular from that root. We have a shava followed by a pathak and a doubling of the middle radical. So we know we're looking at a PL stem here. So are you able to do that, Job? He's saying. And then verse 40, it continues. Ki yashochu ba'me'onot, when they crouch in the dens, and there would be understood here, yeshavu vasuka lemo adatz, and they abide or dwell in the thicket for literally lying in wait, Arev, for the prey. And notice Yeshavu here is from the root Yashav, to dwell or abide. It's a cow imperfect, third masculine singular. Let me go back to the first phrase though. When they crouch, ki yashohu. Ba'me'onot, when they crouch in the dens of them being understood here. Me'onot is a feminine plural noun, meaning den. And notice Yashohu is from the root shachach, uh, double ayin here. And when they crouch, notice it's a cow imperfect, third masculine plural from shachach. And then the next line, Yeshavu Vasuka lemo aretz. They abide in the thicket, or when they abide or dwell in the thicket, for literally lying in wait, lying in wait for the prey. And notice here, Yeshavu is from the root yashav, to dwell. And here we have a cow imperfect, third masculine plural from the root yashav. Historically, this word was a pevav verb, vashav, and the vav has elided. And so we have compensatory lengthening under the yod, with the yod here, changing from a, under the yod, I should say, changing from a hirik to a tseri. And then furthermore, in other words, what God is asking Job is, are you able to provide for the lioness when it crouches, lying in wait for food? Can you do that, Job? And then he goes on. Let me just say a word here about these two verses. The feeding of the lioness, we already had mentioned that, and the lion, Job cannot provide food for them. And it's interesting how God cares even for the lioness and her, let's see, young lions. As they crouch and need food, he provides for them. Then he comes to the raven. Notice verse 41. Mi yachin la'orev sedo. Who provides for the raven his provision or his food? Notice again, Yachon is from the middle weak root kun. Here we have a hifil imperfect, third masculine singular from kun. So who provides for the raven, or rave, its prey, or its food. Ki yeladav el yeshaveya. In other words, when his young, we could translate this, yeladav, unto God, when they cry out unto God for food. Are you able, Job, to provide that food? Notice here we looked at the hifil, imperfect third masculine singular in the kun. Then yeshaveya is from the root middle weak root shua, meaning to cry. And here we have a pl imperfect third masculine singular from shua, when they cry. A third plural, third masculine plural from shua. So when his young ones cry unto the Lord for food, are you able to provide that, Job? Seems to be the question here. And then yitu livli ochel, that is, they wonder for lack of food. Notice ta'ah is the root here, a lamed hay or a final hay root, tav ayin hay, and the hay has elided. It's the cow imperfect, third masculine plural from ta'ah. So are you able to provide for them, Job, when they wonder for food, livli ochel, for we could say for lack of food, literally for without food in the Hebrew. In other words, for lack of food, are you able to provide for the raven? It's interesting. In this verse, God provides for the feeding of the raven. The text is saying when they need food. The raven is repeatedly cited as manifesting the goodness and care of God for his lower creatures. Not only is its home in desolate places, but its food is scanty and precarious and must be sought over a wide extent of country, as may be seen by its habit of flying restlessly about in constant search for food. This is a quote from Tristram on that particular verse. So, how true that is that God even cares for the ravens. And they're not one that would be, you would think, would attract the attention of the Lord. But Job is saying he does care for them. Are you able to do that, Job, and to care for them? I was thinking, as I was thinking through this passage of the New Testament and Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, when he's talking about care and anxiety, and he writes, "Imblepsate esta petena tu uranu," that is, consider the birds of the heavens. Hateu sperusin udetheritsusin udesunagusin eis apathekas. That is, they do not sow, nor reap, nor gather into barns. Kai hapater humon ha uraneois trefe alta. And yet your heavenly Father is feeding them. Uk humes malan diaferete auton. Are not you much more important than them? The Lord is saying. In other words, Jesus is saying the very similar thing that Job is saying. The Lord takes care of the birds and feeds them. And so he's encouraging trust in him when we can become anxious. I'm also reminded of the New Testament and how everything has been created by Christ. I'm thinking of John 1 3. Panta dia tu agenata, kai korisa tu agenata udechin ha geganin. All things through him, that is through the word, to Christ, came to be. And without him came to be not one thing that has come to be. In other words, Christ is the agent of creation, even of the lioness and the raven, I think the New Testament is saying. And another great text in the New Testament, Christological text, is Colossians 1, speaking of Jesus. Chas estene kon tu theu tu aoratu protaticas passes katisos, who is the image of the incorruptible God, the sovereign, protatokos. The firstborn here means the sovereign of all creation. Jesus is sovereign over all creation. Why? Hatein auto ectiste tapanta entois uranois kaiapites geis. Ta charata kai ta haorata. That is, because in him was created all things in heaven and upon earth, things visible and invisible. So, in other words, Jesus is the creator of all of this animal world as well, everything visible. And I was thinking about these New Testament texts in relationship to this and how Christ is the great creator as the second person of the Blessed Trinity. What a interesting and wonderful thought in my thinking to see how Christ is concerned about the birds as well as the creator and about us. And we can be encouraged in that through our love and faith in Jesus Christ. Let me stop there. And we've now finished chapter 38, and we will go on. I would encourage you to have a Hebrew Bible open and follow, and a Greek New Testament if you would so desire. Thank you very much.